The subject of this video is plastic, but not the kind people see every day. This is about a smaller issue with big repercussions: microplastics. A tiny particle making its way around the world while stirring up some interesting conversation. Microplastics, which are microscopic pieces of plastic, have been found in the human body. And the biology of this could be important to understand. Groups of scientists have looked into the occurrence and are currently coming to the conclusion that microplastics might be altering the production of hormones, leading to rising levels of infertility. Now, that's a lot to process, and it brings up a lot of questions of how this happens. To understand the research, it's important to first understand what exactly a microplastic is. Microplastics are pieces of plastic that are under 5 millimeters in size. That's about half a centimeter. A grain of sand is similar in size, almost undetectable by the naked eye. There are two kinds of microplastic. There's primary and secondary. Primary means that they were intentionally crafted to be small. For example, some facial scrubs contain small beads of plastic used to exfoliate the skin. Secondary means pieces of plastic that have broken off from their original source. Kind of like how polyester clothes, when you wash them, they create millions of microplastics after one wash. Or a water bottle will break down over time into small pieces, thus becoming microplastics. A term that will come up often is a chemical called a phthalate. It looks like this, and is involved in the production of plastic, making it more durable and flexible. Phthalates are used to make vinyl, food containers, IVs. You can even find them in cosmetic items: moisturizers, soap, deodorant, nail polish, even hairspray. Phthalates are abundant in everyday items. They travel well too. Microplastics have been found in the Arctic Circle, the Mariana Trench, even the human body. They have been measured in human feces, colon, even placenta tissue. In 2022, researchers surveyed the presence of plastic particles in human blood. The concentration of microplastic particles in the bloodstream was found to be about 1.6 micrograms per milliliter. Now, it's not clear how plastic finds its way into the bloodstream, but it can easily find its way to organs like the stomach or lungs. When food or liquids come in contact with plastic, it picks up particles of the material and enters the body during consumption. Single-use utensils, saran wrap, food containers, they all transfer microplastics to food we eat. Even plastic water bottles contain about 15 microplastics per liter. Trace amounts can also be found in tap water. More developed nations were found to contain about 6.85 particles per liter. And if you somehow avoid drinking from the tap or buying packaged food from the grocery store, that doesn't prevent the inhalation of airborne microplastics. Okay, so the plastic is inside our bodies. Sometimes it passes through, sometimes it's absorbed, and depending on the size of the particle, it's transported to organs, and then somehow to the bloodstream. What happens when pieces of microplastic reach our organs? Well, this is where scientists like Dr. Shauna Swan come in. Swan and a team of researchers have done major work to learn more about what is happening to our bodies when microplastics enter. Dr. Swan is an epidemiologist playing a major role in researching environmental impacts on reproductive health. She's currently a professor of environmental medicine and public health at Icahn School of Medicine in New York City. Her research largely encompasses fertility and how stressors can impact the development of children. Swan has gathered data among the global population to observe patterns of fertility. And the data shows a steady decline of sperm count and testosterone levels by about 1% over the past 50 to 60 years. There may be multiple reasons for the decline. So far, the evidence doesn't provide one clear explanation. Dr. Swan's theory is that sperm count is being impacted by the presence of phthalates humans are exposed to on a daily basis. How can a piece of plastic stop someone from producing sperm? There are certain chemicals that are called endocrine disrupting chemicals, which are said to stop the regular function of hormones that organs and glands produce, which travel through the body, otherwise known as the endocrine system. How they do this is fascinating. Phthalates are one example of a chemical that performs this endocrine disruption. The chemical acts as a phony hormone, traveling through the bloodstream and coming to an organ site where hormones will usually come to. The phthalate binds to a hormone receptor site, and it tricks the body into thinking it's supposed to be there. So, the body reacts as if it just received the correct amount of hormones. And sometimes when the body thinks it has enough, it will stop producing them, which in reality, it's still lacking the proper amount that it needs. This creates a domino effect of changes within the body and may lead to too much or too little of a hormone. This masquerade produced by the imposter can cause some uncomfortable changes to the body, the lengths of which are not entirely known to us. However, one of these hormones that phthalates are disrupting is related to the production of sperm. That hormone is testosterone. Testosterone plays an important role in sex development in early human gestation, as well as the production of sperm. So, when phthalates trick the body into producing less testosterone, it leads to decreased production of sperm. Now, it is harder to determine fertility factors concerning ovaries. However, there is data that supports a connection between phthalates and certain hormone disorders that can cause changes in menstruation or dysfunction of the ovaries. With all that said, it's important to emphasize the observed sperm count decline isn't caused entirely by phthalates. Exercise, diet, genetics, even other chemicals are all components that impact the function of our bodies. What's fascinating about this is that phthalates, this man-made chemical, have somehow found their way into living organisms, into our internal organ systems. And they've managed to change the song our bodies sing on a daily basis. Our organs have been tricked by these microscopic particles, and they've lost their tune. Perhaps with advances in science, microplastics will no longer play this masquerade, and we will be able to find our melody again.